Hello there today. It's probably going to be a brief one. All I'm going to be doing it on, I got the seat base pulled off of the truck, the passenger seat, got the air tank exposed. I'm going to be firing up the engine and feeling around to see where that air leak is coming from around there. See if it's, maybe seems like the tank, there are 2 bolts, 2 lines, and the drain line coming off of it. So 2 bolts and 3 lines going into the tank. Seems like one of them is leaking. Hopefully it's just a bad line or a bad fitting and not one of the fixed ones, because I would hate to have more welding done. Because the air lines all need to be replaced anyway. But I'm going to fire up the engine and see where you can find the air leak from. And I would have the passenger side of the hood open, but the hinge is all bent and twisted. Someone jacked it all up or got caught or something. So I just generally leave it down until I can get it all straightened out. So let's get it fired up. Alright, well, did some feeling around, and so far it feels like the drain line itself, where it's welded onto the tank, is tweaked. Well, I assume it's welded, I can't see. But it feels like it's tweaked over a little bit, because it's pushing up against the exhaust, so it probably cracked the weld and leaking from there. Because none of the lines around it are leaking. I can't feel any air coming off them, because when you're feeling around, you want to pay attention to what it feels like and see if you can feel air coming off and blowing on your hand anywhere. And I'm not feeling that at all. And I can hear it real well right around there. So either I'm leaking somewhere else and I can just hear it from the tank, which does happen on occasion, or it's that something right up on the tank, right where it's not going through the floor, is leaking. So oil pressure is good, about 40 psi, which is decent. I mean, it definitely needs an oil change. It's probably bit old, but it's okay. So I'm going to give it just a little bit of throttle and see if I can get some more air pressure built in there. It only go to about 30 psi before, so I'm going to see if I can get a little bit more now that I actually got the parking brake valves changed. the inside. All right then. Yeah, I got no doubt it's coming right from the tank itself. Because, yeah, I can't hear, well, I can hear the air leak, but I can't hear it coming from anywhere else but right there at that air tank, and nothing around, none of the fittings, the lines, and nothing on the bottom side of the floor have any kind of air coming off them or anything. So I'm guessing what's happened is that just like the bolts that held down the seat, or the screws, whatever they were, probably screws actually, is that because the boot seal between the cab and sleeper and just all the door seals and everything, all the water getting into the cab, because it's a wood floor and not a metal floor, it retains moisture, and then that moisture caused it to rust out, and with the airline sitting up against the exhaust, caused it, between the stress, the vibration, and the rust, something gave, probably weld cracked or something, and now it's leaking right at the tank. Hopefully it's just a bad fitting at the tank or something like that, but either way, I'm going to have to take the tank out. And, the tank's got to come out anyway to replace the floor. But before I can get down the road and get the frame welded on, I got to get that tank out of there and see what I can find out for air leaking. So that'll be the next thing. This one's just, like I said, a short little video. Do some feeling around, get y'all some truck time with it running. And that throttle, man, I barely move that throttle and it jumps it right up. I've never had a truck so sensitive. But I've never driven this particular type of engine before, though I imagine it's not supposed to be that way. Either way, there you go. I'm going to cut this video here and start a new one with working on getting that air tank out of there. See you then.